Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we have more news today. We have news out of the state of Wisconsin and we have news out of the state of Georgia. Updated news for the Senate races, and it apparently seems as if the Republican path to retaking the Senate seems very easy. You have the election mafia at it again. You have Nate Plastic over at 538 saying that Democrats have more of a chance to keep the House than Republicans have a chance to retake the Senate, despite Biden being in power with an approval rating that is underwater significantly by more than 10 points. And it, peaked a little bit, and then it's starting to dip again. And out of Wisconsin, even some of the same polls that said Trump did not have a chance in Wisconsin in 2016, in 2020, they said Ron Johnson did not have a chance in 2016. He didn't really lead a single poll in the state of Wisconsin, but he ended up winning out of nowhere by a decent margin. And what do we see here? We see Ron Johnson in the lead by 4 percentage points out of Emerson. Out of Richard Barris's big data poll, he leads by 3. And with very likely voters, he leads by 7. And even Barris, his pollster, has, and he's admitted this before, has underestimated Trump and Republicans in the state of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin is a very hard state to poll. Reaching those third shift employees that are going to, take some time out of their day to go out and vote for Donald Trump, the Obama-Trump voters. In that regard, a lot of the white working class in southwestern Wisconsin, even southeastern Wisconsin to a certain degree, Racine County, Kenosha County area, those places have been moving to the right over the past 10 years, and we see shifts there. And Ron Johnson, even, taking all that into consideration, leads the poll. He leads among independent voters in the state by 13 points. So we're going to dive into this. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about redeaglepolitics.com first. Because I did drop a new video on the website for members only yesterday about Doug Mastriano, why I believe he will potentially defy the odds. He hasn't really spent any money on his run for governor, but he is neck and neck with Josh Shapiro. He could use the funding, by the way, donate to Mastriano regardless, but either way, he is potentially on track to defy the odds despite being vastly underfunded, and I explained why in this video. Just 16 cents a day, $5 a month. You get all my exclusive videos, posts, as well as the Discord server access. You get that on my website, redeaglepolitics.com. So this poll here out of Emerson shows Biden underwater in the state by 12 points, and Ron Johnson is winning. It has a very large sample size. Not only is he winning, he is also outside of the margin of error, and he is at 48%. And these polls out of the state of Wisconsin have been awful. They said Trump would lose by 6-7 points or so in 2016 and 2020, and they were proven dead wrong both times. What do we see here? We see them doing the same thing again. They have Tony Evers at 45%, by the way, as an incumbent governor, where a lot of those independents disapprove of Joe Biden. But still, Tony Evers is at 45%. And you look at the undecided voters, which way they will likely break. I believe that they will break in favor of Tim Michels. I stand firm in my prediction that Johnson will win by around 7, might even be by more at the end of the day with the way that the trajectory is truly moving, and that Tim Michels is going to end up winning by around 4 points or so at the end of the day, and you will get rid of one of the weakest governors in the country. Barnes is weak on crime. He's espoused a lot of far-left rhetoric. He is somebody that is in between, I guess you would say, the neoliberal establishment Democrat wing and the Bernie Sanders type wing of the Democrat Party. He lies between those two. He is somebody that is probably like the Fetterman of Wisconsin, although he can't really, play the 6'9" blue-collar worker, wears a hoodie thing as well. And by the way, I don't think that's going to help Fetterman at the end of the day because it's so fake. But Ron Johnson is somebody who is a decently popular incumbent. He did outrun Trump in the 2016 election, although you could make a case for the fact that without Trump on the ballot and with a weaker Republican, it would have weighed him down because a lot of the, low propensity voters that came out and voted for Donald Trump did vote for Ron Johnson. But I believe that with trends, with higher energy on the right, which I still do believe exists, Biden's approval still vastly underwater, the economy besides gas prices, is still very much in shambles, and Johnson is hammering home better messaging. Republicans are starting to talk more about food prices. They're starting to talk a little bit more about crime. It's helping Oz in Pennsylvania, and it's helping Ron Johnson in the state of Wisconsin. And you see that there, and it's also going to help Tim Michels cross the finish line against Tony Evers, who is a total weak governor, and we know it. He's, just another shill for the Democrat Party. He doesn't even try to pretend to be moderate anymore. Back when he ran his initial campaign, he talked about, lowering certain taxes in 2018. No, that's out the window. No, all he's done is virtue signal on social issues to the far left, sit there and fly the rainbow flag above the Capitol building in an attempt to virtue signal. And it's like an absolute joke. A lot of states are going to look at Wisconsin very differently when Republicans do take power in a much more positive light in the state of Wisconsin. So already you see an improvement there. Out of Barris's poll, as I mentioned earlier, Michels is actually winning. He's defeating Evers. He's defeating Evers by 9 points among independents. There's a decent, sizable portion of the electorate that was undecided. A lot of those undecided voters do not approve of Joe Biden. That is going to be a positive thing for Tim Michels and his ability to galvanize enough support to end up winning. And that's how these things work. Of course, governor elections tend to be less indicative of the national environment than congressional races or Senate races. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Evers is in a whole lot of trouble. And in terms of incumbent governors that are on the chopping block, number one and number two, Tony Evers, you could argue, is number two, and the other one lives in the state of Kansas. So do keep that in mind as we move forward. But Johnson, like I said, in the Senate poll, he's also up by 3 in Barris. He's taken the lead in RCP. And if a Republican is leading in the polling aggregate in the state of Wisconsin, typically it means they're going to win by a whole lot more than that. Of course, you have people on the left that will come in here, as they typically do because they don't understand how these things work, and they will say, well, you only believe polls when your candidates are winning. And it's like, no. When my candidates are winning, I don't entirely take the polls at face value. Then you add points because the polls, especially in the Rust Belt, have had a bias one way. The only two polls that tend to get it in the Rust Belt for the most part are the Barris poll, People's Pundit Daily, and Trafalgar. Those are the main two that tend to get it. Susquehanna, sometimes. They've been decent in Pennsylvania here and there. But even then, even though they are technically nominally right-leaning pollster, they don't always tend to get it. So for the state of Wisconsin, it's looking very good. It's also looking very good out of the state of Georgia because you look at the recent polls that dropped today, you have 2 of them. One of them was out of Marist, which tends to lean vastly to the left from what we've seen over the past few election cycles. But even they have Warnock at 47, which is far below 50%, by the way. And then they have Herschel Walker in striking distance at 45, well within the margin of error. And if you look at the crosstabs of that poll, it seems like they vastly oversampled the Atlanta suburbs because Brian Kemp, for some reason, is winning by 11. He's outrunning Herschel Walker by 13. There's no way that happens. But the most accurate pollster in Georgia in 2020, which got the state off by 0.1%, has Herschel Walker up by 2 and Brian Kemp up by 8. And they have Herschel Walker up, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. If they have Herschel Walker up by 2 points, it really does seem as if Herschel Walker is in the driver's seat. Raphael Warnock, like I've said, he won based off of the circumstances. He is a very weak incumbent. Kelly Loeffler was one of the worst candidates ever put up by any party for any Senate seat in the history of politics. He only won by around 2%. The polls say they're in a dead heat, mainly because of a garbage Quinnipiac poll that is going to be laughed at by quite a few people when the election cycle is over, that has Herschel Walker down by 6, but the last poll that they conducted had him down by 10. And we know that Warnock has outspent Walker 3-1. Walker has an interesting debate strategy. A lot of people have pinned him as a gaffe machine, which is true to an extent. He says things like we have to ban CTR when he was referring to CRT, critical race theory. Is he the most well-spoken individual? Not necessarily, but he's actually, played up to that. He said the other day, he's like, I'm just a country boy. Warnock is an elitist. Of course he's going to beat me in the debate. I'm just going to go speak my mind to voters. It's kind of the strategy that George Bush played back in the day, and it actually worked out very well for him because a lot of people underestimated him, and then he went into the debates, performed decently well, and the gaffe machine factor really didn't affect him too much. So we see this here. We see Herschel Walker in the driver's seat in the state of Georgia. You look at the fact that in Wisconsin, it seems as if Wisconsin might be shaping up to be likely are in the Senate race. And if you put those two things together, Republicans need to win one of 3 Senate races to get the Senate back. So I disagree with this notion that, Republicans have only a 25 to 30% chance to retake the Senate like Nate Plastic and a lot of these other mainstream media pundits who apparently have a humiliation fetish keep talking about because they never learn. It's been how many cycles, how many years? They just don't get it. They don't get it at all. They're going to be a laughingstock once again when it's all said and done this year. There's 3 states that Republicans are surging in as well. Oz is narrowing the gap in Pennsylvania. The latest Trafalgar poll had him within 1. He definitely has the upper hand. In terms of Arizona, Blake Masters, over the past couple weeks, well, like I said, not really spending that much money, has cut Mark Kelly's lead in half, and he's getting a lot more money. He's well on the trajectory to win. If you look at the past trajectories in the state of Arizona, Mark Kelly, he led Martha McSally by close to 10 points at this point in the 2020 election, but he only won by just a little bit over 2 points. And then you look at the state of Nevada, where Laxalt is already up in the polls, but Nevada polls, we really don't know. They tend to be off in one direction or another. It really depends on the year, but Republicans, they already lead the polling aggregate in Nevada. They're tied in Georgia. Take the Quinnipiac poll out. They're leading. Wisconsin, they're leading. They already have the Senate without Pennsylvania or Arizona, but I believe at the end of the day, they're going to get Pennsylvania. I believe they're going to get Arizona. Fetterman's campaign is imploding in real time. Oz is hitting him hard where it counts in terms of the advertisements on crime. That's huge news. Arizona, Masters is narrowing the gap. Great news there. Republicans are looking to have a clean sweep of the toss-up races. They're spending a lot of money on New Hampshire. It might be a little bit too late to get Bolduc over the top there, but 53 Senate seats, write it down right now. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't happen at this rate. Despite all the dooming that we've seen over the past couple of months, the energy has shifted once again, and the surge does continue. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.